Hello and welcome everyone to my channel, the MBBS Hub. Today we are going to study about the histology of trachea. So let's start our today's topic. We know that trachea is a fibroelastic cartilaginous tube. Now, from where the trachea extends, or what is the extent of trachea? So the trachea extends from the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, that is the C6 vertebra, to its level of bifurcation, that is the T4, or if we want to make it more specific, then the lower border of the T4 vertebra. So the trachea starts from the lower border of cricoid cartilage, which is present in the C6 vertebra, and it comes and bifurcates into the primary bronchus at the level of T4 vertebra, or the lower level of T4 vertebra. So trachea consists of mainly four layers: the mucosa, submucosa, the cartilage and the smooth muscle layer, and the adventitia. So what are the layers? So innermost is the mucosa, after that the submucosa, then we get the cartilage and smooth muscle layer, and the outermost we get the adventitia. So this is the cricoid cartilage here. This is the cricoid cartilage from where the trachea starts. After, these are the tracheal cartilages. These are the tracheal cartilages which are C-shaped, and after that this is the position where the trachea bifurcates, that is the T4 level. It bifurcates into the right principal bronchus and the left principal bronchus. Okay, so this is the right principal bronchus and this is the left principal bronchus. So our first layer, or the innermost layer, is the mucosa layer. So the mucosa layer is lined by the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. So what is the lining epithelium? In case of mucosa, it is the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. It also contains the goblet cells, some brush cells, small granule cells, and basal cells that lie next to the basement membrane. Now we can also find numerous lymph nodes, or the numerous lymphocytes, which are seen in deeper parts of the epithelium. Means we can see these lymphocytes in the deeper parts of the epithelium, deep to the epithelium. The important thing is that the basement membrane is thick, glassy appearance, and it is homogeneous light stained layer. So it's becomes easy to identify the basement membrane, as it is thick, glassy in appearance, and it's homogeneous and light stained layer. Now lamina propria. The lamina propria contains the lymphocytes, the eosinophils, the plasma cells, the fibroblast, and the diffused and nodular lymphatic aggregations. Lamina propria contains the lymphocytes, eosinophils, plasma cells, fibroblast with diffused and nodular lymphatic aggregations. Next layer is the submucosa. The subepithelial connective tissue contains numerous elastic fibers. So what is the primary content of the submucosa? Here we can find numerous elastic fibers. You have to remember these things, that we can find numerous elastic fibers. Now we can also find some submucosal glands that are present. And what is the function of these glands? These glands help in keeping the epithelium moist and also provide a covering of mucus in which the dust particles get trapped. And this acts as a trapping medium for the dust particles. Now here also we can find numerous aggregations of lymphoid tissue that are present in the subepithelial connective tissue. So our next layer is the cartilage and smooth muscle layer. Now the skeletal basis of trachea is made up of 16 to 20 tracheal cartilages. Now as I have mentioned before, that the tracheal cartilages, the shape of the tracheal cartilages is C-shaped, and these are a mass of hyaline cartilage. Okay, so this C-shaped cartilage have an open end, and this open end is directed posteriorly. At the posterior direction there is the open end. Now the gaps between the cartilaginous ends are filled by smooth muscles, which are known as the which muscle is known as the trachealis muscle, and some fibrous tissue. Okay, so these gaps between the cartilaginous ends are filled by the smooth muscles called the trachealis muscle and the fibrous tissue. The intervals between these cartilages. The intervals between these cartilages are filled by fibrous tissues that become continuous with the perichondrium. These fibrous tissues become continuous with the perichondrium covering the cartilage. Now the connective tissue in the wall of the trachea contains many elastic fibers. Our next layer or the outermost layer is the adventitial layer, and this layer is made up of fibroelastic connective tissue containing some blood vessels and some nerves. So we'll see all these things in the diagram. So this is the diagram of the trachea. Here first we can see that is the lining epithelium is the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. After that the lamina propria, below that we can see the trachealis muscle, and these are the seromucous tracheal glands we can see here above the cartilage, and this is the hyaline cartilage. This structure is the hyaline cartilage. The outer covering is the perichondrium. Here are the blood vessels and some adipose tissue, and this layer is the adventitial layer. So we can get a clear idea from this diagram, and we will move next towards the microscopic view of the trachea. So in the microscopic view of the trachea, what are the structures that we can see? So first of all, we will see the lining epithelium, that is again the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay. Next we will see the lamina propria here. After that, here we can see a small tracheal gland. After that, this mass structure is the hyaline cartilage, and primarily on the basis of the hyaline cartilage we can identify a slide as a trachea. After that, the outer covering, the perichondrium, and then the adventitial layer. Which is the outermost layer. So this is the slide of the trachea. So now we'll move towards the identification points on the basis of which we can identify that this is a slide of trachea. The lining epithelium is pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, which we must mention with some goblet cells. Now the basement membrane will be thick. Lamina propria is underneath the epithelium, and the submucosa will contain some serous glands and mucous glands. Now presence of hyaline cartilage and trachealis muscle in the substance of the trachea. So these are the identification points. With this, I conclude our today's topic, that is the histology of trachea. If you people find the video informative and interesting, then please like the video, subscribe the channel, and share this video to your friends so that they also can get benefited with this. Thank you all. See you in the next video lecture.